Part 1. Flight. Chapter 1. Rooster Murphy pried his knuckle out of Cheech's shattered eye socket with a grunt of frustration. Goddamn guy's skull must have been made of honeycombs to break apart like that. Cheech's right eye, in all its smooshed, gelatinous glory, quivered on the knuckle of his middle finger. He flicked his wrist in disgust and watched the eye splatter against the floor, leaving a slick streak. "I told you to cut it out, didn't I?" he screamed at the Cuban man's cooling corpse. "Did you think I was fucking playing with you? Huh? Jesus, Cheech. You know, you really put me in a tight spot. You really did. You fucked me good, man. You fucked me good." He hocked a wad of phlegm on Cheech's chest for good measure. Now what? All Cheech had to do was hand over the guns, and all he had to do was give that entitled Cuban the money. Simple. A friggin' retard could have handled that. But Cheech, man, he always had to ride him. Always had something to say. Always quick with a joke at his expense. He was Luis Cortez's son, after all, so he thought that gave him a free ride to say and do anything he felt like. And Rooster, he'd really been trying to hold it together. 5 court-ordered stints at anger management, meds that made his head fuzzy and his dick soft, meditation CDs by California Fruits, and all that other shit out the window in under a minute. So now he had the guns and the money, and Cheech's stiff with the surprisingly fragile skull. It was only a couple of punches. Must have been all that blow Cheech did, eating away at his stupid face. Fuck it, either way he was a dead man. Rough Cheech up a little, you could expect Papa Luis to come down on you so hard your mother would feel the loss in her old empty womb. Rooster took a moment to think about his options. The guy's apartment was straight out of the Cribs show, full of all kinds of marble and high-tech electronic shit. The air conditioning was on full blast, and as he discovered walking into the kitchen, there was plenty of Presidente beer in the fridge. He usually preferred the cheap stuff like Busch or Schaefer, but beggars can't be choosers. He twisted off the non-twist-off cap of a Presidente and sat back on the big leather couch. Rooster shoved Cheech's legs away with the heel of his sneaker. The cold beer felt like heaven as it sluiced down his chest and into his gut. This was bad. He'd been down shit creek more'n his share of times, but this one took the cake, ate it, crept it out, clogged the toilet, and spilled out onto the floor. Cortez had guys all over Naples. Hell, his arm stretched down to Miami and up north to Jacksonville. Getting out of Florida was going to be like that Clint Eastwood flick, The Gauntlet. That was pretty badass when Clint fortified a bus to take on an assault from more guns than the French had surrender parties. For the first time since entering Cheech's apartment, Rooster smiled. He remembered seeing that movie with his dad at the old Big Star Drive-In. He must have been 10 at the time. His dad would park a couple of ratty old lawn chairs in front of their Chevelle, and they'd eat popcorn one of his succession of aunts had made at home. And on special nights, like the night they saw The Gauntlet, his dad would share a few sips of his suds with him. It wasn't until Rooster had finished his beer that he remembered he wasn't supposed to drink alcohol with his meds. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to drive, operate heavy machinery, walk, talk, or screw when under the influence of alcohol, because no matter what you're in the middle of doing, you're about to take a world-class faceplant. Crap. The room spun, and he thought he saw Cheech move. The bottle slipped from his hand, and his mind slipped from this world. Frantic pounding at the door woke him up with a start. Half of the beer had spilled onto his crotch, and the amped-up AC had practically frozen his nuts. "Yo, Cheech, what are you doing in there, man? Quit jerking off and let us in." "Shit." Still woozy, Rooster stood and had to wait a minute to steady himself. He looked down, relieved to see that Cheech was still dead. Harsh shafts of sunlight stabbed through the horizontal blinds. "I must have been out for hours," he mumbled. The fists continued to beat on the door. The tone of the guys outside had turned from playful harassment to growing concern. "Hey, you okay? We know you're home," a guy with a heavy Spanish accent said. Rooster carefully crept toward the door. He heard another guy say, "I'm calling his ass." Cheech's cell phone blasted a black-eyed peas tune on the coffee table. "I told you he's in there. Can't you hear his phone?" Things were about to get ugly faster than an eagle fucking in midair. As quietly as he could, Rooster ran back to the living room, grabbed the bag of guns, slung it over his shoulder, slipped the smaller duffel bag of money around his wrist, and headed for the bedroom. The door exploded inward with a loud crack. Shards of wood peppered the room. Rooster turned to see 3 Cuban dudes, each dressed in cream-colored linen pants, tight T-shirts, and sandals, come barreling into the apartment. Was Cortez instituting a dress code? They spotted Cheech's bloodied body immediately. Rooster didn't stick around to watch them draw their guns. No sense being subtle now. He slammed the bedroom door shut and clicked the lock. It wouldn't hold them back, but it would buy him time. He went to open the window, but the weight of the gun bag caused his shoulder to drop and his grip on the latch to slip. Gunshots roared and bullets ate through the door. "Come on, Rooster, man up." He tried again, this time unlocking the latch and sliding the window open. He punched out the screen and leaped onto the windowsill. It was only a 10-foot drop. No sweat. The door collapsed under the weight of the 3 Cubans, and they fell, one on top of the other. Fucking amateurs. The one on top of the dog pile looked him in the eye as they struggled to get up and swore. "You're a dead man." You may be right, Rooster thought, but not yet.